We will be looking at a very important data structure called stack today. Here is a list of topics. As usual, we will go over some theory first, then implement stack in Python, and in the end we have very important exercises for you to solve. First, I want to show you a use case where using stack data structure could be beneficial. I'm on this website, and on this website I can navigate through various pages. Let's say I'm reading world news, then I want to read news in India, then I want to read news in China. Now when I go through all these pages, the browser maintains history of it, and when I press back button, it will show me the last page that I visited. See, I visited India, before that I visited the world page, and before that I was on a home page. So just imagine if you are a browser developer, how would you manage this history in terms of data structure? This is a pictorial representation of links that I visited in this order, and when I click on back button, really I'm going to the last page that I visited. Okay, so I am now traversing these links in a backward order. One option I have is I can use maybe an array to store all these links, and whenever I want to get the last element, I have to go to the end of the array and pop that element out. Another option is, of course, you can use linked list, but the issue with these two data structure is that, for example, if you're using linked list, you have to traverse the linked list to go to the end, and that end will give you the last link that you visited. So every time you are doing order of an operation. Similarly with the array, the problem is you have to use dynamic array, because you can't use static array because it can just keep on growing. Also with dynamic array, there are issues such as memory relocation and copying the elements, etc. In this situation, imagine you have a data structure like this, where once you visit a link, you keep on pushing the elements to that particular data structure, and then when user clicks on back button, you retrieve the last element that you pushed. Okay, so there are push operation, and the pop operation will pop out the last element. So here you are doing last in first out operation, also known as LIFO, and this data structure is called stack. Okay, stack is a last in first out data structure where you keep on pushing the elements, and when you say pop, it will pop out the last element that you pushed. If you have a stack of dishes in your kitchen, right, when you are washing the dishes, when you create a stack, when you try to remove the dish from the stack, you will be picking up the last dish that you pushed on the stack. Okay, so stack is exactly that data structure. Pushing and popping element is order of 1 or a constant time operation. If you want to search an element in the stack by a value, it will be order of n big O complexity, because you have to go through each of the elements and you have to locate that particular element. Some of the use cases for stack is in any programming language, when you are calling a function and then that function calls some other function, internally compiler will use stack to push all those functions to maintain the order of those functions. Basically, in any editor, let's say you have Microsoft Paint or Word or Microsoft Excel, they have this undo functionality. So undo functionality will undo the last operation. For that also they use the stack. I mentioned that compiler or programming language uses stack in underneath. So here I want to show you one example where, see, in this code I am calling this function called insert values, and insert value function will eventually call insert at the end. So when I put a breakpoint here, it will stop here, but the call for insert at end came from insert values, and insert values came from this main function. So this particular thing that you're seeing here is called the function stack. Basically, function is calling it one by one. You can do F10 or just press this button and you will realize that it comes back. See, now I have two functions, so it will just go to the last function that you call. So this is the standard example of how stack can be used in programming languages to manage the function calls. Here is the stack implementation in different programming languages. Python in Python you can implement stack using list, collection.deque or LeafOQ. Java also has multiple classes, and C++ has std stack. Now I'm going to show you how you would manage the browser history back functionality using a list in Python. So the Python list can be used as a stack. Here I have created this list and appended all those web links that I visited, okay? And when you do Control Enter, it's gonna create the list and append all these links. Now when you want to get the last thing that you appended, you can call pop function, and pop will give you the last link that you visited, which was cnn.com/China. And now when I look at S, it will have only 3 things, you see, and you can then call pop again. So that gives you India, pop again, okay, world, then pop again, cnn.com, and when you do pop after that, it will say that you cannot pop from an empty list. So the pop operation in stack will pop out the last element. It will return the last element, and it will remove the element from the list. Now if you don't want to remove the element from the list, so let me execute this once again, okay? Let's say I don't want to remove the element from the list, but I just want to get the element. So in Python, you know that you can use minus index to get the last element. So if when you say -1, you get China back and your list is still not changed. While you can use list as a stack in Python, the problem with list is that it is a dynamic array. For example, if you have a list with a capacity of 10, let's say, and if you want to insert 11th element, internally, since it is a dynamic array, what it's gonna do is, it now see in this case it doesn't have the capacity for 11th element, so it will go into some other memory area. It will allocate some extra capacity. Usually if your current capacity is 10, it will allocate the current capacity into 2, those much additional memory location, and then it will copy all those 10 elements here, and then now it will insert this 139. So the problem here is not only it has to allocate new memory, it needs to copy all existing elements. If you have million elements, you have to copy all the million elements, which might be costly. For that reason, using list as a stack in Python is not recommended. The recommended approach in Python is to use collections.deque. Now, if you look at collection.deque documentation, it says that they are a generalization of stack and queues, and they are implemented using doubly linked lists. So you don't have to worry about the issues that you face with dynamic arrays, okay? It will allocate new location as and when needed, and you don't have to worry about copying the current elements into the new memory location. So let's implement stack using deque now. First thing you have to do is you have to import deque from collections, okay? So I'm gonna do from collections import deque, and then my stack is a deque. Now I want to see what type of method this has. So when you do dir stack, it will show you all the methods. So I see methods such as append, append left, and so on. You can also refer to the documentation, okay? So here it says append will add x to the right side of the deque, and that's what we want. We don't want to use any of this left function, okay? So let's do stack.append, and in here I want to append the link that I visited. Let's see how the stack looks like. See, stack has this. Now you can append few more things, so I'm just going to append this one and the other 2 links that I visited while browsing. See, it creates a deque like this, and when you do stack.pop, it will obviously return you the last element. and not only it returns the last element, it will remove it. So now cnn.com/China is not in my stack anymore. Now here I created a stack class just for fun using deque. You can use deque as it is for a stack class, but I want to follow the proper stack prototype and use the functions such as push, pop, peek, etc. That's why I created this class. It looks pretty simple. Internally I have a container which is nothing but an object of deque class. When you do push, I am doing append to the push. All right, so you can look at all these methods. These are like very simple methods. This is my Python implementation of stack class, and now I am going to try a few things with this stack class, right? So I pushed element 5 here, and then I'm gonna call s.peek. So s.peek will return 5, but it will not remove 5 from my stack. Okay, so I still have value 5. So if I call s.peek once again, it will still return me 5. If I do s.pop, it will return 5, but it will remove 5 as well. So when I now do s.pop again, so it will say pop from an empty deque. At this point, when I call s.isEmpty method, it will tell me the stack is empty. You can also do s.push couple of values. So I'm gonna push, let's say 3 values, okay? And when you do s.size, it will return me the size of the stack. That's all I had for this tutorial. Now the most interesting part of this tutorial, which is an exercise. So I have these exercises for you. I have a solution link, but you're not going to click on that link until you solve this exercise on your own. Without solving the thing on your own, if you click on the solution link, it is going to download COVID-19 virus on your computer. Okay, so be very careful. I have that automation in place. So you try things out on your own first, then only you look at the solution. For the exercises, you will be using this particular stack class that we did in our tutorial, and I'm going to post a link of this tutorial, this notebook, as well as the exercise description, etc. in the video description. So make sure you check the video description, work on the exercise, also watch my rest of the data structure tutorials. Data structures, as I have said before, are very important in programming interviews. Even if you want to become data scientist, etc., having good knowledge of data structure is very important. All right. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends.